Election 2024 is over. America has voted, and both sexism and racism have won the day. On Liberal Dan Radio, we will hold everyone accountable, from the media that failed to report the threat that Trump poses to this nation, to the people who supported him. We will pick up the mantle to educate the people about his actions, from being dictator on day one, pardoning January 6th domestic terrorists, implementing Project 2025, and any other draconian measures he tries to pass. And now, the resistance begins. Louisiana, in the frozen tundra of New Orleans, Louisiana, or as I've been calling it, the Big Freezy. We're not going to do call-ins during this show today. We're just going to be doing a special live inauguration show to talk about all of the crap that's going on, and because nobody needs to see Donald Trump lie to Chief Justice Roberts. That doesn't need to happen. We already know he's a liar. We already know who he is, and what he's saying to Chief Justice Roberts in any sort of so-called oath is a load of bunk. But if you want to join the chat, leave questions, comments in the chat, etc. Come to liberaldanradio.com or twitch.tv/liberaldanradio. Either way is the chat room that we follow. What you doing, Rose? Yeah, you're sweet. So yeah. And we'll be doing the regular show again at 8 p.m. as well. I forgot to take the live 8 p.m. Central thing off, but whatever. It's only a special stream of the show, so we'll be coming back later. Hopefully, probably. Cassie is back in the hospital. She stayed overnight last night, and I was up with her for a bit. Probably didn't leave until 1, and probably didn't get home to about 2-ish or something. Oh, now you're really laying down on me. Look at you. Look at how snuggly you're being. You must be upset that Donald Trump's becoming president, huh, Rose? So, anyway, what you doing, Rose? You're being silly. You're being so silly today. Anyway, in the chat we got Aaron, we got Andrea, Josh, Michael, Jan, Steve from across the pond to watch our embarrassment that is the United States. Ranger Gooseman over there on Twitch as well. So put some little emojis. Click that heart button or whatever for Rose, even though Rose decided to run away now. So anyhow, support the show again. Remember to like the video, like the stream, share other videos, like other videos. Help the algorithms, help Al Gore get more rhythm. That's the best way to get more people on the show, more people seeing the streams, the videos, etc. I was very amused because if you didn't catch my videos that I posted on, I did another special live. I went live on Sunday night, Saturday night, I mean, because they shut down TikTok early. But I had made a TikTok at 9:29 p.m. Talking about basically asking the Trump supporters and MAGA supporters why I shouldn't believe that Donald Trump is going to be putting our national security interests behind his political interests. And at 9:30, TikTok got shut down, so my video was up on TikTok for less than a minute. I may very well have been the last non-live stream TikTok to go on that page. But of course uploaded it to YouTube as well, because I've pretty much just used TikTok as a tool to create videos and not necessarily worrying about anything else pertaining to that. But then again, it came back up, and TikTok said things like, oh, we're thanks to Donald Trump, President Trump. I'm like, he's not president. He's not president until he takes the oath of office, which, I mean, now it's noon, so boo. More, we should play taps for the country now. Anyway, Um, hey, Suzanne, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, the oath of office, yes. I told one of the local weather people that I tweeted at him. I said, "Look, if you happen to call the event that's coming down the Big Freezy, you need to give me credit." And he liked it, so there you go. Yes, Hedge, we are absolutely in the dumbest possible timeline. I mean, when the Doctor Strange of the Idiocracy universe looked back, it was like, what's the only way to get us back to this one? And then voting for Donald Trump, he went, this is the one way. So he's about to do his oath. I could probably do his oath for him. I, Donald Trump, promise to grab everybody by the hoo-ha. I promise to maybe release all the January 6th terrorists who were attacked this Capitol last 4 years ago, and some 4 years and 2 weeks ago, and not do anything other than help me get more money in my pockets. Amen. That's probably, what he's thinking, at least. Not what he might say outwardly, but that's going to be what he's thinking, at least. Yeah, so lovely that we are now stupid enough to get us back into here. And then I'm sure we're obviously going to be waiting on the show. We're going to be doing a Trump Watch. This is part of Trump Watch because we're literally going to be watching what the hell Trump's going to be signing, keeping an eye on that. If anything of that happens within the next hour or so. But yeah, paper cut. But yeah, it's really cold everywhere. I mean, they keep moving the line of where it's going to be snowing in Louisiana, and snowing in Louisiana already in and of itself is a weird thing. I.e., we're freezing, and we're going to have like inches of snow tomorrow, which is just purely just exactly what you would expect for Donald Trump becoming president. Hey, Teresa, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, the Gulf of America is... Yeah, Trump decides to call it the Gulf of America, and then it prevents... it stops preventing, cold weather from coming all the way down, because normally you get, good high pressure systems or whatever in there, just keeping things away. And only times you get lower pressure is when you get hurricanes. So... yes, he's literally a child. That is definitely. I am not a child. I just have tiny baby hands. Yeah. Oh my god, and like the frickin' saw some of the clips, I guess, from the inauguration party last night, where he had they're singing YMCA, the Village People were, and like you're selling out like your entire fan base just to perform for Donald Trump. But they start doing YMCA, and of course Donald Trump is doing the two-handed action, as he dances, thinking about Putin one hand, Musk in the other. Like every time, like I know when Hal does it, he's like squirt, 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 squirt. I know that's the case, but I think we should just now be like Elon Putin, Elon Putin, Elon Putin. That's what it should be. They should be playing yakety sax instead of the presidential like. It should instead be. Well, I wonder if that's going to get a copyright violation. Probably not. Yeah, Village Person, only one left of the originals. That is true, but still, I guess it's a matter of what is it? The grandfather's axe or the ship of Theseus? Or is it ship of Thebes or ship of Theseus? Which one is it called? I forget. Ship of Theseus. Yeah, ship of Theseus. Which is basically if you take a ship and like it needs repairs, and through the entire duration of the ship, if you actually end up replacing every part of the ship, is it still the original ship? So if you have the village people and then you replace the village people with all new members, is it really the village people? So yeah, and I'm thirsty AF. I don't know why I'm so parched this morning, but like, maybe it's probably the fact that the heat's been running constantly all night, because the temperature difference in my house is like, it's cool downstairs and it's hot upstairs. We can't have a nice mix or whatever. And here comes more air again. Here comes more air again. Aaron, I've met the one original that's left. He's something. Oh, I bet. I mean, you got to be special to be part of the village people, right? The odd thing is, village people is just a diverse group of people, and you know, you'd think Donald Trump wouldn't like a group that celebrated diverse groups of people, because he only likes one group of people, pretty much, the poorly educated. That's who he loves. So. In the name, hey, it's Seha. Good to see you, Seha. Thank you for joining the stream. But yeah, we're gonna be trying to see if we can see when like breaking news happens, or when's particularly the Trump signings. I think it's the Trump signing ceremony. That's the issue. I think that like they take the oaths of office and then he'll be probably, you know, signing a whole bunch of executive orders that he has already planned for the day, and we will keep track of what's going to happen and what's getting signed if it happens over the next maybe hour or so. Let's see, trying to catch up. Of course, my dogs are barking outside. Not my feet, but my actual dogs are barking. But yeah, just if you jumped in here, yes. My wife did go back into the hospital last night. They're doing more tests to try and see what's going on, to try and see if they can actually get, you know, some more information as to what potentially is causing her issues. They expect to maybe release her this afternoon, hopefully, because, you know, it's about next early in the morning, tomorrow morning is where it's about to go downhill, weather-wise, at least here in Louisiana. It's going downhill in the country currently right now as we speak. So, any asteroids forecast? I don't have any asteroids. I saw my doctor. He said I didn't need preparation H. But I want to call it preparation T, because everything should be named after Trump. The Gulf of Trump, preparation Trump, whatever. Grab him by the trumpa. Covfefe. So yeah. Fun till the daddy takes the T-bird away. But yeah, you know, Donald Trump, when's the last time they moved the ceremony inside? They're all scared that, I guess, something was going to happen. I mean, why would they be scared of something happening? I mean, that does, you know, isn't Donald Trump the brave person who stood up against the after he got shot, which probably was just glass shrapnel hitting him, after he got shot, and, you know, he went, fight. You know, isn't he the brave one? Clearly not anymore. So yeah, our president is basically starting off as a chicken shit. But here's the other thing that he didn't catch, because in Donald Trump's initial statement about, like, you know, him wanting to give TikTok 90 days to do whatever, he also said that he wanted the United States to take over, like, and own 50% of it. Government owning companies to be able to do, like, especially like their propaganda or whatever. That sounds very familiar. That sounds kind of like something a fascist might do. So Donald Trump may very well be dictator on day one, but he's fascist on day 0. Or day -1 or whatever it was. Yeah, we should go over the list of who of Joe Biden's last minute, I guess, pardons too. That would be. I mean, I'm remiss. We'll probably go over it later as well. My computer feels kind of like warmth coming. I don't know if it's warmth coming up from the computer itself, or it's warmth, or it's the fact that it's warm. I just lost all my screens. I just minimized everything. That's not good. There we go. Gotta fix everything there. See, white light and hugs for your wife. Thank you, Jan. Appreciate it. So yeah. I would be surprised. I'm probably surprised that there'll probably be people missing from the list or whatever, but we'll see. President Joe Biden on Monday pardoned Anthony Fauci, retired General Mark Milley, members of the House committee that investigated January 6th in the Capitol, in an extraordinary use of powers of the presidency in its final hours to guard against potential revenge by the incoming Trump administration. The decision by Biden comes after Donald Trump warned of an enemies list filled with those who have crossed him politically or sought to hold him accountable for his attempt to overturn his 2020 election loss and his role in storming the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. Trump had selected cabinet nominees who backed his election lies and who pledged to push blah, 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 blah. The issuance of these pardons should not be mistaken as acknowledgement that any individual engaged in any wrongdoing, nor should acceptance of them be misconstrued as admission of guilt for any offense. Our nation owes these public servants a debt of gratitude and their timeless commitment to our country, is what Biden says. Pardons announced just with hours left in Biden's presidency have been the subject of heated debate, blah, blah, blah. Biden, a Democrat. Ooh, is Biden a Democrat? Really? Thank you, AP. I would have never known that Biden was a Democrat if you didn't tell me that. Has used his power in the broadest and most untested way possible to pardon those who have not been investigated. His decision lays on the groundwork for even more expansive use pardons by Trump, a Republican, and future presidents. Yes, what you need?
Can you move your chair up? You're squishing the wall.
Hold on. What am I squishing? Oh, this. There you go. Okay. Sorry. Squishing one of his toys. Let's see. We all know it's going inside because they don't have the karate one. That's the other point I was going to make, Ranger Moose Guzman. So thank you very much for bringing that up. That was another point I was going to make. One of the reasons I was like, thought of last night, I was like, oh, they're moving it inside, huh? Yeah, because there was an embarrassment 8 years ago when Donald Trump was first inaugurated, because yeah, his crowd size was much smaller than Obama's and anybody else's in recent memory. And again, yeah, they probably did not want to have the embarrassment of so few people showing up, and you know him having to make up lies. I was like, oh, it was the most watched inauguration if you count people streaming it on the internet and watching it on TV too. Yeah, that's not how you figure things out. That's not how you determine attendance at an inaugural event. But you know, it's just, what else do we expect from the Trump administration? Lie, lie, lie. Lie, lie, lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lots of lies. All the lies, all the time. Nobody lies more than me. I have bigger lies. They're big. They're huge. So, let's see. My family came from Ireland. Jeff is Irish. I used to get family reunion invites from up there. Interesting. I may have some family from Ireland, but I don't know if I don't know if I could trace anybody back there currently. So, Josh, big massive dumps. Yes, that's what every executive order is going to be. A big giant turd for this country. So, he was afraid somebody was going to smear ketchup on his ear again. Yes. If we're inside, I mean, it's easier for me to throw ketchup against the walls if anything bad happens, because that's how I do. That's how I operate. Like a tantrum, like a little child. So, hey, Marcia, good to see you. Thank you for joining us for this special stream of Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left, that's right. It's not really, I'm not really calling it a special episode, so to speak, because those are more topics about the serious issues. And while it's very serious that Donald Trump is, you know, going to be in charge of the, basically what's going to become the Titanic at this point. It's not really like, talking about the special things like life as an obese person or life as a Jewish person or anything else I might be able to come up with. Life as a. Hey, good to see you, Roxanne. Thank you again for joining us too. What's going on? What is this? I don't know what I'm seeing. Got an exclamation point or something by my green dot here on YouTube. I don't know. In my control panel area. Let's see, I was trying not to get there. Currywurst is awesome. Sausage woman. I would love any sort of wurst. It's weird that, they call these sausages the worst, and they're actually kind of the best sausages, right? Some of the, I don't know, andouille's a little better, but I like andouille sausage, I think, the most because it's got a good kick to it. Maybe there are some wursts that have that. Blah blah blah. I'm trying to see what this timeline is. Trump will start the day by attending a service at St. John's Episcopal Church, located across Lafayette Park from the White House. The White House tea. Trump and incoming First Lady Melania will meet outgoing President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden for a tea that's traditionally held to welcome the new president. Yeah, and I'm sure that's going to be that was totally comfortable, I'm sure. Christopher Macchio singing "Oh America." Then you get the vice presidential oath, "America Beautiful" by Carrie Underwood. Because she sings the song. She was part of the Hypocrite of the Week last week, singing a song about somebody cheating and carving up their car, and now she's singing for somebody who cheated on multiple wives. So, presidential oath, the battle hymn of the Republic, then, oh boy, benediction from Yeshiva University's President Ari Berman, Imam Husham al-Husseini of the Karbala al-Azam. I'm surprised he's actually having somebody who is a Muslim doing a benediction. That's shocking. And then a formal farewell will be held for Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris as they depart the Capitol. And then you'll have the signing ceremony. The Trump will then head to the president's room just off the Senate chamber for the signing ceremony. Members of Congress watch as a newly sworn-in president signs nominations, memorandums, and executive orders. So, and I'm just wondering what those executive orders might very well be. Dean Baker, today's forecast is a bluster wind with a chance of cold comp for those holding commemorative tickets. Yeah. Let's see. What did Suzanne say? What did I miss? I missed something for some reason. Oh, I'm still live chat. Somebody made a boing. Boing. Yes, watch animal videos. Well, actually, watch animal videos after we go off the air, because we'll be doing this for a little longer at least to try and pass the time, bide the time. And then you have the inaugural balls. Yes, nobody has balls better than mine. My balls are the greatest. Nobody has better balls. The Commander-in-Chief inaugural ball, country music band Rascal Flatts and country singer Parker McCollum will perform at the ball geared towards military service members. Trump is scheduled to speak. Liberty inaugural ball, rapper Nelly, country singer Jason Aldean, and the Village People were scheduled, whatever. Starlight ball, singer-songwriter Gavin DeGraw performed, and Trump will speak at the third inaugural ball, at which the guests were to be big donors of the incoming president. So yes, all of the people. Of course, do you really know who a donor is to the president? I mean, you can't really know because he used things like, the concept of a watch or his shoes or his NFTs or all of the other things that are Trump branded that he's using as a way to allow people to give money to him in violation of the spirit of, at least, campaign finance rules, which prohibit international people from contributing to his campaign. But if you can buy a stupid watch for 10 grand or some shoes for $300 or whatever it is, you'll be able to, funnel all the money that you want to Donald Trump via these things, and he then, will then curry favor with him, so to speak. A dozen eggs are more valuable than Trump's meme coins. Yes. Well, but with one of our infrequent watchers, listeners, you could say even 5 eggs would be more valuable than Trump meme coins. So did he give a speech at the ceremony? I don't care. I do not care about whether or not he gave a speech. I'm sure he'll be giving a speech. I'm sure he gives. He'll make it all. Everything is made all about him. I mean, and actually today is technically, is probably the number one day that he could probably make the best argument for making things about him because it's his inauguration day. But of course, his inauguration day just happened to fall on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which is terrible, just terrible irony. Of course, I was reminded today of there's this one video, if you check, where this girl mispronounced Martin Luther King Jr.'s name. First of all, it's like, what's today? That's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, or that's how my son said it when he was younger. And what did he do? Or he died for our sins. So and mom's like, no, that's Jesus. So yes, the best words. No one has better words. Trump meme coin took a massive dump. Yes. Hey Benny, good to see you. Yeah. Anything that Trump should either easy for me to say. I remember 8 years ago when it was that Trump was being inaugurated last time, everybody had ponchos, and I was like, is this because everyone's afraid of the golden showers? So who knows? Who knows what they're going to use to protect themselves today from anything that might be spewing forth from Herr Donald. So, just trying to see when trying to refresh the screen, is trying to see if the signing ceremony will have started or not. It doesn't appear like it, but if anybody happens to notice that it has, please let me know, because I would definitely like to at least follow along to see what the hell, maybe, or if at least they've released, what he might be signing soon. I don't know. List of Trump's first executive orders. Although you probably are gonna. This is probably gonna cause me to get the, 8 years ago and not necessarily. Oh, let's see. Well, here's one maybe. Here's a link. Trump to take more than 200 executive actions on day one and expected to sign more than 50 executive orders. Hide the Sharpies, yes. Well, maybe he can use the Sharpies to block the weather from coming further south, so we don't get totally frozen out. See, President-elect Trump is expected to sign a flurry of executive orders, memorandums, and proclamations on Monday after he's sworn in. Reversing many of his predecessor's policies and reinstating actions from his first term. The actions are expected to address a range of issues, including campaign priorities like border security and culture war issues like DEI. Of course, if you asked him what DEI stood for, he probably couldn't tell you. Let's see. Here are some of 10 sweeping executive actions on border security that officials say Trump plans to sign on Monday. Declare a national emergency at the border. Clarify military's role in border security, with clarify was in quotes, at least according to NPR. End catch and release and continue building the wall and remain in Mexico. Why do they want to end remain in Mexico? I thought they wanted remain in Mexico. That doesn't make any sense. Designate criminal cartels as terrorists. Suspend refugee resettlement. End asylum and close the border to those without legal status via proclamation. I think that's a violation of international law to end asylum. I think you're always required to have asylum according to international law. End birthright citizenship. That should be a fun one to see him trying to get that done. I definitely would tell you that John Roberts would not go along with that on a constitutional challenge, but we'll have to see if the other 5 schmucks on the Supreme Court will. Officials said the White House plans to end birthright citizenship, which is enshrined in the 14th Amendment. They argued the amendment does not recognize automatic birthright citizenship for children born in the United States to parents without legal status. This action will likely see immediate legal challenges. Of course it will. And there's nothing in the 14th Amendment that precludes them from being children. You just have to be born here. It doesn't say anything about the parents. Only thing it says is that you have to be subject to the jurisdiction of the United States, i.e., so if a child of a foreign diplomat here under a diplomatic immunity has a child, then that child is not going to be subject to our jurisdiction, and as such, that child won't be a citizen at birth because, again, they are not subject to our laws because of diplomatic immunity. However, everybody else who's not under diplomatic immunity is subject to the laws, can be, charged with crimes and arrested, etc. All that can have if you can be arrested for a crime, you're subject to our laws, and hence any children that you born that are born of you, from you, because of you in this country will automatically be citizens at birth under the 14th Amendment. A reasonably moderately intelligent person should be able to understand that. Of course, that explains why Trump doesn't. See, are gas, bacon, and egg prices falling already? No, egg prices went up from last week to this week. I remember noticing that egg prices were like $5.99 for 18 at Costco, and then they were $5.59 or something like that, and now they were like $6.29 this past week, or maybe even a little more than that the other day when I went to Costco. So yeah, egg prices went up. I'm not having a very good time speaking today. I'm just not used to being on the show, I guess, at 11 o'clock in the morning, my time. So yeah, let's see. It's going to be a crap show for at least 4 years. I hope I live long enough to see it through the end. I hope we all do. I hope this country survives long enough to see it through the end, because holy crap, this is terrible. I mean, we're going to need to have all hands on deck in the 2026 elections so that we can, at least try and retake the House. So, good to see you too here, Dean. Thank you for coming. So Jana made a Bloody Mary with 160 proof shine. I think too much garlic because it made me walk funny. You think the garlic made you walk funny? I mean, it would be interesting to try. I would have given it a shot. But yeah. What else is he going to do? Enhance vetting and screening of so-called illegal aliens. Protect American citizens against invasion. Officials said this equips agents and officers of ICE and CBP with the authorities they need to deport people from the United States. Okay, sure. Restore the death penalty. Action in particular directs the Attorney General to seek capital punishment for murder of law enforcement officers and capital crimes committed by illegal aliens. It encourages state agencies and district attorneys to bring capital state charges for these crimes, the officials said. So, I mean, it's not like, I'm not one of the people that think that we should absolutely 100% abolish the death penalty altogether, but I do think it should be heavily restricted to cases where it can't just be like circumstantial evidence. You have to know without any doubt that this individual is the person that did the crime. And if they did, sure, fine. I'm not going to weep for that person's being yeeted from this mortal coil. But my issue is that we have too many people in prison who are there for where they thought they were sure, but they weren't. But they actually weren't right. Those people should not be executed whatsoever, because if there's a sliver of a chance that the evidence might have been wrong, then no, we shouldn't be executing anybody like that. And if making sure that we do that means that we stop all death penalties, then fine, I'm fine with that. But again, I'm not weeping for, like, if you go out and, if you're Dylan Roof, for example, yeah, you deserve it. You deserve to be whatever. But not, not people where it's like, we think we may have done it, my evidence might point this way, but if there can be other possible explanations, even if they're unreasonable, I think it should be like, instead of being beyond reasonable doubt for actual giving the death penalty, there should be beyond any doubt. And have that be. You'd have to have no doubt whatsoever to be able to have that. And you have to be able to, I think, meet certain thresholds. Like there should have to be like video evidence or something like that. America will never recuperate from the damage that will be inflicted. He will pass the presidency to one of his choosing. That's reality. I mean, that is a very good possibility. I mean, I've oft said that would this be the last election? Who knows? I mean, people often every time worry, like they worried, will George W. Bush leave office or will he try and stay in power? Then the right wingers thought, would Barack Obama try and do that and stay in office? My theory, my interesting theory that I was kind of wondering about is just how it's worded. It's worded in such a way that somebody could at least make a challenge that J.D. Vance could run for president in 2028, and then he could have Donald Trump as his running mate, and then if J.D. Vance resigns immediately, then Donald Trump becomes president again. And some people say, well, that's not possible because he can't be president. It's like, no, you can't run for president. You can't be elected president more than twice. But can you be elected vice president and then become president after those 2 terms? Would a reasonable and sane Supreme Court say, yes, that's actually within the rules? Probably not. Would this activist conservative Supreme Court say, yes, that's within the rules? I wouldn't hold my breath against it. They've already created this immunity crap out of thin air where it doesn't belong. It never existed. So if they can do that, if they can give him immunity when none existed in the Constitution, they can give him they can approve his loophole idea like that. So yeah, Benny, I was also not concerned about any previous presidents leaving office as well. It wasn't my concern, but there were other people who raised such concerns. I never gave them credence or whatever because I didn't think that, well, as horrible as George W. Bush was, I didn't think that he would try and force himself to stay in office even under some, try and claim that of martial law or something like that. But of course, conservatives said that about Obama as well, that he might try and do martial law. Of course, he didn't do that. But then again, I guess the first president who I ever thought might, not want to leave office was Donald Trump the last time. And he clearly didn't want to leave office. And I'm surprised, frankly, that he didn't try even harder. But I guess he figured that if the problem with him supporting all the poorly educated folks that he said he loved after the Nevada primaries in 2016, the poorly educated, while they can do, I guess, lots of big things in huge numbers, like elect an idiot as president of the United States, maybe he saw that the insurrection wasn't going as well as he would have liked because they didn't plan it properly according to his likes, threw ketchup against the wall, and then, said, okay, let's just send him home because we're going to try and do this another way. So... See, Dean, I sleep alone because I mostly have pleasant dreams preferable to nightmares of this modern life. I meant sleep a long time, not alone. Okay, because I was about to start singing like I sleep alone, yeah, with nobody else, kind of like the I Drink Alone from George Thorogood. See, like I said, you never have to vote again if you want. Yeah, he did tell that to the Christian folks. So there are people who are saying that, since maybe he said that because this could be his last term, and so they only have to vote this one time to get him back into office again, and then you wouldn't have to vote again because you don't need to. But of course, he'll never tell you what he's going to do or what his plans are, regardless of what they are. He'll tell you certain things, but I don't know. So I'm not necessarily convinced that he's going to pardon the January 6th insurrectionist terrorists on day one. If he does, I would be surprised if he actually does every single one of them. But who knows? We'll see. We'll have to see if that happens and if he proves himself even more of a traitor than he already is. Marsha, my wonderful caregiver, is here. She's going to stay taking care of me for several more months, and I'm so thankful I'm staying here for now. Well, thank you to Marsha's caregiver. That is awesome. Oh, Cher has a song called I Sleep Alone. Huh. I don't think I know that one. I mean, even though she was born on the same day, not date, but day, we're both May 20 babies, I don't know I know some of her songs. I know a lot of her popular songs. I don't that might be too deep of a cut for my musical knowledge of Cher. So we'll see. Let's see. Let me just check my phone real quick just to see if I have any messages from my lovely wife. Nothing there. And nothing there. So they're going to try and potentially get an MRI today to check some things. They don't think anything's wrong with their spine, but they're trying to just look at everything and see what might be wrong that's causing all these issues, so they can maybe get a handle on it finally. But if they don't do the MRI today, they're probably going to wait for the MRI until after this whole big freezy thing ends, because I don't trust the people on the roads. Like, my wife had a doctor's appointment with her general practitioner set up for tomorrow, and I was like, I guarantee you they cancel it. There's no way that they're gonna want you to drive to the doctor's office in whatever mess we're getting. And now that we could get more than 6 inches of snow, which is now one of the new things that are coming out, there's no way I would even touch the roads tomorrow. I've driven in snow. I've driven into taller snow than that because I'm originally from Baltimore. Yeah, I've driven in that. But, big but, a lot of these people haven't. I don't trust Louisiana drivers, and I especially don't trust the people driving in Louisiana with Texas license plates to be able to handle the snow. I guarantee you there's going to be a crap ton of accidents tomorrow because dumbasses are going to think, we're good, we can drive in this, and then they're not going to be able to. So, yes, Cher and Dan share a date. Is that a play on words there? We share a date. That is it is a whole crap ton of snow for New Orleans, Nuevo Orleans. Yeah, it's amazing how, like, I think the last time it snowed that I remember was, like, I think in 2009, maybe 2008. The last time it snowed, it was like there was a little bit of accumulation on my window and on my like car window, and that's about it. Like, nothing stuck on the streets. Like, they're actually talking about the possibility of snow sticking to the streets, which that requires the street to be very cold. So the one thing I am looking forward to doing is I'm looking forward to watching my 2 pups who have never been in the snow to how they react to the snow. I'm sure that's going to have lots of fun videos out there. Maybe I'll post them to TikTok since it came back up. Who knows? Yeah, Aaron, we had less than an inch here, and they tell everybody to stay home. Oh, we didn't even when we had a winter. It was at the moment that they told us that schools were canceled tomorrow, so the kids aren't going into school. Although one of them has like a distance learning thing where they have to do some things using their computer. They canceled schools when we thought it was just going to be a quote wintry mix of snow, sleet, and freezing rain, which sleet in and of itself can be worse than snow on the power line. So I'm glad it's going to be more snow and less sleet, but I don't trust that these power lines are going to be able to hang with the snow either. So who knows? Because Entergy down here, the electricity company, sucks. Do they even have plow trucks in NOLA? No, I don't think so. I don't think we have plows here either. I think we do have whatchamacallit. They did buy some salt spreading things to put on trucks so that they could put the salt on the roads, and they attached them to certain, like, different types of trucks. I don't know which trucks they're using, but it's that they don't have salt trucks in and of themselves, or which I guess in Baltimore they were kind of a mix of both salt trucks and plows. But yeah, I don't believe that we have plows here. I think any plowing that's going to get done would have to be done by other type of equipment, like backhoes or whatever type of equipment with a larger plow or whatever. We don't have the like a yellow John Deere type thing because we don't have plows on trucks. And I'm sure it's not a situation like other municipalities or other areas in the country could be like, yeah, we'll send New Orleans our plows. No, because they're probably all going to need it too. Let's see, Ranger Guzman. And if they get rid of birthright citizenship, people who were not born here shouldn't be able to serve in our government, i.e. Ted Cruz. Let's be clear, he doesn't want to be POTUS. He wanted to be stay out of prison, and he did. Texas didn't start salting roads until like 2009. I see, Ranger Guzman. I'm not even talking about like people who are Texas drivers in Texas. It's just what I happen to realize most of the time, and it could very well be. Half of me was thinking that they were like, look, y'all drivers, you need to leave and go somewhere else. You're too bad for even Texas, so we're sending you to Louisiana. But yeah, I was driving for Uber or Lyft or one of those two, and somebody asked me, who are the worst drivers here in Louisiana? And I was like, really? You really want to know? It's the people with the Texas license plates, and they cracked up. So I was like, I hope they're not from Texas. So yeah. Let's do. So Arizona Sunflower ones I don't drink. I've been known to eat some gummies now and then with cannabis oil in them. Calms me, but also makes me walk funny, and I get dry as a brown leaf in winter frost. That could be another reason why my mouth was dry, because in order to, I also took an edible before sleep last night. So between me having the CPAP on and the hot air blowing on me all night and everything like that, I basically feel like I turned into a little bit of beef jerky. So, hey, everybody, good to see you. Thank you for joining us over on Twitch chat. It's Trucker John. Trucker John is in the house. How long is Liberal Dan going to be on today? We doing a marathon? We're not doing a marathon, but we will be on again later. I do need to be off at some point because I need to start my pool running so it doesn't freeze. And I'm also going to shock the pool while I'm doing it because it hasn't been shocked in a very long time and it's green. So there's that. So we'll be doing that. And then I have to go run over to my mother-in-law's house that still hasn't sold. We have a potential offer on the table, but I don't like it at the moment. We'll see. There's other things we have to take into consideration that need to be dealt with when it comes to, like, amount down, closing costs, etc. So whatchamacallit? What was I going to say? I don't know what was I going to say. So yeah, and then at some point I'll go hang out with Cassie for a little longer today, and then she'll be coming home at some point today, and then after I get home, hopefully when I get home it'll be before showtime, and we'll do the show at the normal time, 8 p.m. Central. So let's see. Hal's on too. Trucker John seems like a marathon or a Crumpathon. Yeah, Trumpathon or whatever. Damn Germans not labeling. Wait, Germans don't label what the proof is? What do they label? The percentage, or do they not label it at all? Oh, we don't have outside cats. Yeah, my mother-in-law, when we had my mother-in-law had 3 cats, or like she had 2, and then my wife had rescued one right after Hurricane Katrina. And so when we got this house together, I was like, when we talked about what cats we were going to be bringing from my mother-in-law's house, I was like, I only want to bring Sylvester because I don't want to have to deal with outside cats. I don't want to have to deal with that at all. If my mother-in-law is dealing with outside cats, it's fine. I'm no problem with it, but I don't want to deal with outside cats. So all of our cats stay inside 100% of the time. None of them have actually even tried to get outside. Sometimes they'll look, like when we have the front door open, but none of them have ever tried to get outside, which is nice. The dogs will go outside when they have to, like, go to the bathroom, and that's going to be amusing to watch them. So, percentage, so if you see 80, it's 80%, not 40. Yeah. And see, that's the weird thing with proof. Like, I always was like, why you just call it proof? Why don't you just say what percentage it is? Like, to me, having to make a separate metric that's basically just double the percentage, it doesn't make sense as to why you're going to do that. So, what else have I missed from here? But yeah, the last time I was talking about the snow thing when Aaron said to shut it down for an inch. They shut down this. I mean, so they shut us down like days before, even when we thought we were having a wintry mix, and no idea of any accumulation. So now I'm imagining how long we're going to be like working from home. Like, my job has everybody working from home. Of course, I work from home whenever, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, previously they had like a shutdown of the city and I only had like this much snow on my car windshield, and none of it was stuck to the road. So anyway, Marcia, yes. Well, they want to give her an MRI today. They don't know if they're going to give her an MRI today because there were a lot of MRIs that were scheduled today, and I think they overbooked MRIs. So if she doesn't get an MRI today, she'll be getting an MRI probably after all the snow stuff ends. So trying to see, because they're saying like that it's gonna happen, but they're not saying if it's happened yet with the executive order. So I don't even know if the benediction's over yet, because again, I'm not watching it at all. I don't care to watch any of Donald Trump lying to the public, because we'll have enough of that over the next 4 years. Just expected to sign a flurry of orders, yada yada yada. But there's not really saying. So we'll probably be waiting to do a. We'll probably be waiting for a bit to see, maybe later on today, maybe on the evening show at the 8 p.m. show, we'll go over any and whatever executive orders that he signed. So, I mean, the car windows weren't necessarily frozen shut, but they were but they had just a little bit of snow on it. Like, it was like everyone's panicking, and this is what I'm seeing. Meanwhile, like the last time I was in a blizzard, it was up to my mid thigh, and I'm 6 feet tall. So, yeah, I was, and actually I hopped in the car when it was that high. I drove through the snow because enough people had driven through it to make a path. I drove through the snow, got out to the main roads, which were at that point fully plowed, and then ran to go get some like soft drinks or something because I was going stir crazy and I needed to do something other than just sitting in the house. So, see, proof has to do with specific gravity. That's when the proof term comes from. Interesting. Learn something new every day, right? See, my daughter's beagle hates the snow. She can't get her pit bulls back in the house. They love it. I can't. I'm thinking that maybe Blanche, my older of the two pups, may potentially not like it, but I think Stan's gonna just have a field day because he is a toddler. Stan, the one with the 3 legs, is a full-on toddler. He is just crazy. He is a nutball. So, I hadn't seen as much snow since I was a kid. Yeah, I mean the last time, there was, that was the last time I saw snow when I was 17 years old, and it was up to my mid thigh. And then, and the only other snow I've seen or had dealt with, there was like, it wasn't even snow really. We went up to New York one Thanksgiving, like during my usual Thanksgiving trips that I used to take, and there was snow that was on the ground that were like in little piles, but that kind of just remained as they shoveled or pushed snow out of the way for people to be able to walk. But then, like, we were looking at all the floats that they inflate for the Thanksgiving Day parade, and we were walking through this huge line for that, and then we saw, and then it started snowing as we told the kids, but it was really just sleeting. So it was more sleeting or freezing rain. So, but it wasn't anything that accumulated or stuck. Again, the last time it snowed here, we got like half an inch of snow on the grass and nothing on the pavement. So, because it couldn't melt, it just melted immediately. So, not flurry avalanche. Yeah, that's the thing. To call like hundreds of actions a flurry is a little bit of a misnomer. Apparently, there's going to be a presidential memorandum on inflation Monday. The official did not provide any details about that to NPR. National emergency and electric vehicle, quote, mandate. Trump intends to declare a national emergency on Monday, aiming to cut red tape and regulations for the energy industry, and a second one specific to Alaskan resources. The national energy emergency will unlock a variety of different authorities that will enable our nation to build quickly again, produce coal and natural resources to create jobs, create prosperity, and to strengthen our nation's national security. The official said the order will end what incoming Trump officials call the electric vehicle mandate that will end efforts to curtail consumer choice on things that consumers use every day, whether it be shower heads or gas stoves, whether it be a dish. Oh, there you go. He's putting less regulations on gas ovens, and as a Jewish person, that concerns me greatly. But yeah, they're so obsessed with stopping things from, us being able to do things that are energy efficient, and they're so obsessed with things like they're so mad that they don't want, that these electric vehicles, like California wants at least everyone to have any new cars being sold in California would have to be hybrid vehicles. I'm like, okay. And everyone's all sad about that. I'm like, okay, well, if you live in California and you're really upset about that, you can either buy a used car, or you can go to Nevada and get a car that way, and then you won't have to deal with the fact that you're restricted from buying a new car that's not at least a hybrid in the state of California, right? So they're all panicky about it. And then the other big conservative conspiracy theory was, because everything is a conspiracy theory to conservatives, was that because some of these electric vehicles, there was one brand of electric vehicle that the way that the engine was designed with the battery location and everything else that was involved with the design of the vehicle, the AM radio wouldn't work properly, so they didn't put AM radios in these cars. And of course, the people on AM radio are like, why can't you're trying to stop us from hearing conservatives talking on the radio? Like, don't you have an app? Like, you have an app that streams your stuff over the internet to anybody. Nobody's being prevented from hearing your show, you doofus. So, Mad Mac, hide your sheep. Yes, hide your sheep, hide your ewes. But yeah, this it's absolutely ridiculous. You know what's sad is that, I do use the argument about TikTok where it's, I've talked about this before. My employer has a data security thing, and the person who gave the speech or gave the presentation online for the data security thing at the very end said, if you want to know more information, come see my TikTok. So I was like, well, is this, if a data security expert is using TikTok, I'm not that worried about it. But there are people clearly who are worried about it, and I think it's malware in the fact that how it pushes the videos that it wants you to see, but I don't necessarily know what else that it's actually doing. Obviously, the people in Congress thought it was different. That's why they voted to ban it. However, if Donald Trump, as president, does something like he said on Truth Social and causes 50% of the company of TikTok to be owned by the United States of America, he says owned by the U.S. That's what he said. So if Trump is in charge with it, I'll absolutely dump all of my channels, all my channels over there, and just dump it all together, because I don't want Donald Trump having access to that data. So, what's up, Impeccable Living? Good to see you. Yes, time to start drinking. AM radio is still a thing, Jeff asks. Yes, it is still. I actually do most of the time when I'm listening to Jeff Carrera's morning show. It's usually on the AM radio as I'm driving in to drop my son off at school, and then coming back home. And then sometimes if I get back into my house and I'm still waiting to go on, and then I go on and I want to hear the rest of the show, which is usually only a few minutes at that point, I'll flip on the stream that he plays over the internet. So, but yes, AM radio is still a thing. There's a big, the news talk and sports channel is like 870 down here. There's 99. There's several different AM stations that are being used currently. But again, the funny thing, the thing I laugh at is that they had to make a conspiracy theory out of everything. So if a vehicle was designed in such a way that didn't allow for AM radio to be played properly, so they left it out, I'm just amused at the fact that they're like, oh, they're trying, this is a plot against conservatism. Ridiculous. Maybe they're called wind generators. I'm a dummy too. Donald Trump is a wind generator in and of itself. Maybe that's why he doesn't like the windmills, because he wants to be the only one making the hot air, right? What's up, Sylvain? Thank you for joining us. We're doing a live stream just so people don't have to watch the inauguration, and we're calling it the I-NON-Guration. Please remember to to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already done. If it wasn't malware before, it certainly is now. Elon is making changes to it while it's down. Now Trump talk, anything can be hacked. Elon Musk, that's what he says. Elon Musk says everything can be hacked. So there you go. But yeah, I mean, if Trump's in charge of it, it absolutely will be malware. And I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying, you know, I didn't have the same concerns that Hal did. I mean, if Hal has concerns, they're reasonable. And you know, I do think that you have to be careful in using apps like that, because again, it can cause the poorly educated and the weak-minded to fall down rabbit holes that they can't handle falling down, and then they get stuck in red pill world. So, see, I used to find a static AM sound with kids, fell asleep in the car, blare it, scream and slam on the brakes, funny every time. Let's see, in the good old days, music sucked on AM and was great on FM. Pretty much. I mean, I do have the Sirius XM app or whatever, Sirius XM, still in my van. I actually have the unit in my van. It stopped working for a second, and then I managed to fix it, because, you know, I don't know what was going on with it, but it was finally got it working again. So I had a Jeep, the FM stopped working. I spent a year and a half listening to AM. It was interesting. Yeah. Sometimes, like, when I used to work at the hospital, one of the hospitals down here before Hurricane Katrina, and they had I would listen to, like, the George Norrie type shows, the all spooky stuff, talking about all of the, who's on before George Norrie? He had another big name guy. I can't believe I can't remember the name off the top of his head. Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell. That was the name, Art Bell. And then George Norrie took over afterwards or whatever, and they would talk about crazy weird stuff. And then there was also some crazy conspiracy, like, guy from, like, Waxahachie, Texas, that would give some really oddball things. And I would listen to this oddball, you know, Christian conservative conspiracy theory type show, because I want to learn more about what people who I didn't agree with thought. And it gave me some good arguments. Like, he would quote something from talking about what would happen during the rapture, where, like, 1,000 people will die to your left and 10,000 people will die to your right. But if you're saved, but whatever, then you will have, you know, you will go on and be saved and resurrect, whatever, in the world to come, or whatever it's called. So I'll be like, look, let's forget the people on the left-hand side for a second. Let's talk about the 10,000 people on the right. If 10,000 people are going to fall to your right, and they're not going to survive, but you are, that means that 1 out of every 10,000 people will survive the incoming and be saved or whatever. So if at the time, I think we had 6 billion people on the planet. So with 6 billion people on the planet, if 1 out of every 10,000 people are going to survive, that means you're only going to have 600,000 people left. So to me, it doesn't make sense. Why are you trying to save so many people? Because if only 600,000 people are gone, are going to survive, then wouldn't you want less people to be saved and not more? Just a thought. My friend was on Coast to Coast a few weeks ago. That's pretty awesome. I didn't know it was still a thing. So there you go. I did like Casey Kasem's Coast to Coast show, though. Yeah, especially when he had. Have you heard the Casey Kasem thing where he had to read the dedication to the person's dog, and then he goes into some upbeat song, whatever, and he was just so pissed off. He's like, I always got to go from a sappy dog story to some upbeat tempo thing. And he's like yelling and yelling. It's hilarious. Of course, you know, Casey Kasem also had was the voice of Shaggy on Scooby-Doo, which is interesting. I think he did other voices like that too. So, see, I watched the movie Civil War starring Kristen Dunst in preparation for Trump 2. Was that the one where Kristen Dunst was the media person? Because I watched that as well, and it was pretty interesting and potentially had a happy ending, right? Yeah, Arizona. I can't believe people actually believe that stuff. Yeah, talking about Christmas ghost stories. Exactly. Yes, I did see that as well. That was I actually it was a pretty well done movie. Um, not a happy ending at all. Well, wasn't the happy ending the fact that they got rid of the bad president, or am I confusing it with another movie? I mean, somebody did. I mean, I don't think she had a happy ending. Jeff Curry, happy ending. He's testing me. Is that true, or would it just be a little fun side benefit of saying such words? Kind of like we're telling a story I was telling a couple of dad jokes to one of the nurses or one of the techs that was coming in to help Cassie last night, and we were talking about how like I get my older son. I'm about to say a pun, and my older son will roll his eyes at me or whatever, and he one of our cats had matted hair, and so I told my son, "Could you go upstairs on my computer desk and come get me the dematter?" And he goes to me and he's like, "What's it?" And he looked at me and he's like, "I'm not saying that." And I was like, "No, please go upstairs and get the purple that has a purple handle and has like kind of metal looking claws on the end, and there's white on the handle. Just give me that, please." And he goes upstairs and he finds it and he brings it down. It's like, "This is a dematter." But I was rather impressed at the fact that he was quick-witted enough to understand that I could have been joking and saying, "Please go get me the dematter." What's a dematter? Nothing's the matter with me. What's the matter with you? So, but I literally did need him to get the thing that was called the dematter. So, Jackie, you are here to snuggle me and keep me warm. It sounds like everybody's been talking about snuggling each other and keeping everybody warm. Are we going to have the liberal Dan cuddle puddle? That would be funny. 2001, A Space Off. Space Odyssey. I was like, say Space Odyssey. It's like Space Off. I was like, what? It's like, is that sort of like a dance off in space? Kind of like in Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't know how to spell Odyssey. Whatever. I mean, we're in Trump's America now. Do you really need to spell anything correctly? I don't know. Aaron's all in for the cuddle puddle. There we go. You have to be a liberal Danimal to take part in the cuddle puddle. Would that be legal? I don't know. Would that be considered some sort of prostitution? Benny's like, I don't snuggle with anyone except my kitties. Unfortunately, except for when Rose jumps up here, Rose really doesn't snuggle with me. She'll snuggle with my blankets, but she won't snuggle with me. Sophia will sometimes come snuggle with me when she feels like it. She'll come up to you and be like, meow, meow, meow. But then, like, usually most of the time she's just aloof and off by herself, or picking on the dogs, especially the older one. And then there's Gloria, who runs away from me altogether and only likes Cassie. So, hell, it's 18 degrees here. I'm going streaking. I could do it like Will Ferrell in Old School. We're going streaking! Nobody wants to see me go streaking. That's for darn sure. Impeccable Living might say he might, but I don't know. I don't believe that. Mad Mac. Every rose has its thorn, just like every night has its dawn. Just like every cowboy sings a sad, sad song. Every rose has its thorn. There you go. Look at that. Diane Russell got gifted the membership from Aaron. That's awesome. So, good to see that. Impeccable Living. I'm so sore. I strained the muscles of my upper thighs last night. Maybe hooking up with those 4 guys in a row or at once. The clerk's line would be in a row, but at once would be interesting as well. Hilarious. Diane's invited to the cuddle puddle. Is that what you're doing? Like basically gifting like one person a membership just to see who you can get invited to the cuddle puddle and who not? But thank you for gifting the membership. Appreciate it. Let's see. Guardians of the Galaxy. Love Guardians. Who's your favorite? Yeah, in a row. There you go. Yondu is mine. Yondu is pretty awesome. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. And such a she starts off as such a sleazy sounding character, but then you know, it turns out that he wasn't really that bad of a guy anymore. You know, at the end of, was it 3? Was 3 or 2 the one with Kurt Russell? Diane's getting a root canal as we speak. Oi. Thoughts, best wishes to Diane dealing with that. Nobody should have to deal with that. So I would ask my my digital device what the temperature is. I guess I could always just look at it here or whatever. I might be able to pop it up and see what it is. Let's also, we want to research, refresh this to see if you started signing anything yet. New York Times has Trump's executive orders, but supposedly, however, it's probably behind a paywall, so there's that. Hello, Janelle. Good to see you. What was I just about to look up? I don't even know what I was about to look up. Brain fart. Oh, New Orleans weather. Dummy. I really need a new laptop. I looked up why this my keyboard might be swelling a little bit. It's something wrong with the battery. So yeah, I may very well need to get a laptop sooner rather than later, which sucks. But you know, it is what it is. So currently, right now, and it's 38 degrees in New Orleans, and we're expecting it to not have any precipitation today, but we do have a winter storm warning in effect. See, I mean, that's why you should have company, right? It helps keep you warm while your house warms up. See, including New Orleans metro area, Baton Rouge, and Lafayette, National Weather Service and forecasters now say 4 to 6 inches are expected from late Monday through early Tuesday. Snow and sleet accumulations of roughly 3 to 6 inches are expected across virtually the entire region. But yeah, we're between 4 and 6 according to this particular one. But I've seen even worse from less than 2 hours ago. So it's crazy. Anyway, I think we've killed enough time trying to, you know, give people the opportunity to watch something else other than Trump lying to the Chief Justice and the rest of the nation. I've not seen anything posted yet about, you know, Donald Trump actually signing anything yet. I guess I could actually pop open my phone and see if there's any coverage like on MSNBC or some BS about that. So let's see. Let's pop that open. Let's do this and just see if anything's going to pop up. You had the flu, Jackie? That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. I think they just finished. Let's see. Let's go to the guide. They might have just finished all of the ceremonies. So actually the whatchamacallit may be signing stuff may be coming soon. Any moment, Biden to depart Capitol. So Biden hasn't left the Capitol yet. Donald Trump left the Capitol much earlier, 4 years ago. Can we go for the rest of the show without not mentioning our prison warden? Well, he should. The problem is he's the one who should be under a prison warden or whatever. I'm just trying to see what the executive's orders might be because, you know, that's one of the reasons I wanted to do like a Trump watch type show is to see, again, what the executive orders that he's going to sign might be. But it looks like I think after this is supposed to be the invocation next. Maybe. I mean, again, I haven't seen exactly what if that I don't remember if them departing was first or the invocation was first, but I think he still has other things to do. But I think Biden is leaving right now, getting the hell out of Dodge. Plenty of chicken soup and hot tea. I would love to have some matzo ball soup right now, but unfortunately I don't think the place that I would want to get it from is open today, so it doesn't matter. But yes, we've been on for about an hour and a half-ish now, right? About an hour and 15 minutes. Maybe we'll hang on for another 15 before seeing if anything else happens. And of course, if we do miss any of the things during the day show, we will definitely cover it at night. Hold on, I have somebody calling. No, that's my mom. So I'm doing my podcast. I'll call her back when the podcast is done. I don't want to, let me just decline and say doing my show. Decline, come on. And then we're going to say, doing my podcast, Cassie in hospital, getting tests, should be, did I spell that right? Coming home again later. I'll call what show does. Call when show is over. Over. Helps if I spell right. Let's see. Bring the, I said Walgreens, blah, 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 blah. Interesting. Anyway. Stupid thing. Hey, Kevin, good to see you. Soup is good food, and yes, the programming works, yes. I mean, how many, like, I was testing my kids one time for how much TV they might watch, and I was like, what is Mike Branninger's number? Mike Branninger is a local attorney or whatever, and I was there like, I don't know, and I was like, then I sang his little slogan from the TV, from the commercial, and they said his phone number. And then, what's Spencer Callahan's number? As another attorney. And they're like, I don't know. And I said his, like, Spencer Callahan is the one to see, call. And then they responded back with the number. Of course, there's another one, which always makes me laugh every time I hear it, simply because of the fact that it reminds me of the stand-up comedian bit, where the stand-up was like, I want to have my phone number be all twos. So when someone asks for my number, I could say, just keep dialing 2. And when you hear somebody talking, you will know you have pressed 2 enough. His number's all 4s, which is hilarious. So, yeah. They didn't know the 877 Cash Now one. It was like there was a millennial quiz or something, and like people were at their work were testing millennials on all these things. And my kids actually got more, I think, one right compared to everyone else. But I was like, they didn't know the J.G. Wentworth one. And even when I gave him the, I have a structured settlement and I need cash now, call J.G. Wentworth. And then went like that. And then they were like, I don't know. I'm like, it's 877 Cash Now. I gave you half the number or more than half the number right there. So, T-Max, since I saw the Three Stooges use mothballs, because they didn't have matzo balls, I never wanted to eat matzo ball soup. Oi, which one was that? Was that in duck soup or what was that in? Which no, I'm sorry, that's Marx Brothers. That's not Three Stooges. Mixing up my two. So I'm over the flu. I'm just always cold. That's like the Hulk, like Bruce Banner. That's my secret. I'm always cold. But yeah, I don't think anything could stop me. Oh yeah, wait, Dean. I didn't realize Dan has mutton chops. Yeah, I grew these in, or actually I had the full beard grown, and then we had a 70s work party, and so I just shaved this part to keep the mutton chops up and running or whatever. But I'm kind of digging it, so I don't know. I'm kind of feeling it. I think they look good, so I'm keeping them for a bit just to be different. So yeah, I love silent movie. Actually, that's Mel Brooks. I keep screwing up all my stuff. My grandparents, my dad's parents did show me several Marx Brother films or whatever. So, and they were funny, they were good. So, trying to give me a little bit of culture, I guess. I took a course in it. They wanted $5,000 to get into connect buyers and sellers for annuities. I figured that's probably what that would be. Yeah, because you have annuities and you want the cash now, so the people buy your annuities, and so they give you money up front, and then over the course of the annuity, you get more money. So just remember that from Three Stooges movies. They crunched the mothballs in their mouths, kept me from ever wanting that soup. I was a little disturbed at one time because I was watching a Marx Brothers movie on somewhere, and then all of a sudden, like one of the, I guess they needed to hide amongst the black people, and I think at the time they were supposed to be slaves or whatever. Maybe, I don't know, but at least they were definitely not treated equally. And the my thing about that was they needed to hide from people. They needed to hide from certain people. So the way that the Three Stooges, I think it was the Three Stooges, was it Three Stooges? It was either three. No, it was the Marx Brothers. It was the Marx Brothers. In order for the Marx Brothers to get away with what they were doing, they had to put on blackface. And I was like, ooh, this did not age well. But I mean, blackface technically was always a bad thing to do. But and it had me having mixed feelings, because up until the point they decided to do blackface, it seemed like the Marx Brothers were treating the people that they were hanging out with, i.e. the black people, in a time where racism was very rampant. They seemed to actually be treating them as their equals, and then they put on blackface, and I'm like, oi. So, but as some people say, you can't judge people, you can't judge things by the time or by how things were at the time. I'm like, sure I can. I can judge people based off of separate water fountains. I can judge people based off of other things. Blackface was typically always done to make fun of people. The only example of blackface that I don't have a problem with is how Robert Downey Jr. did it in Tropic Thunder, but that's mostly because of the fact that A, he was mocking the type of person who would do that, and B, like many black people have no problem with that role because they understood what it's for, and they always laugh at like the overly overly aggressive people when it comes to like trying to overcompensate for and trying to be a good activist, but not actually being a good activist, because you're not listening to people and what they actually care about. And many, if not most, if not all black people who've seen Tropic Thunder are like, this is really well done, we don't hate this, stop it. So anyway, appreciate you, Benny. We're probably ending soon anyway, simply because of the fact that I do need to do some stuff before I go to the hospital and hang out with my lovely wife until they get her discharged. So we do have to take care of. I do have to take care of that. But anyway, see, Jeff, you're so entertaining. See you on Blue Dot Texas talking Bigfoot. Like, one of the myths of this country, Bigfoot, that Donald Trump will make America great. Several American myths that are popular currently. So, anyway, let's just refresh this page one more time to see what, if anything, has happened yet. I don't see anything happen yet from executive orders. Let's pop open the news. It'll probably be a little longer until it happens, in which case we will just go. Let's see. Trump prepares a slew of day one executive orders. Blah, blah, blah. I might just go over these a little bit before we head off for the afternoon, and we'll come back on in the evening and do our regular show, assuming everything goes normal as we expect them to go. If for some reason I'm going to start late, I'll of course let Andrea and Aaron and Jolie and all of y'all know I'll let them know via messaging, but I'll let all of you know I'll post it on here, post it on maybe on Blue Sky, here on YouTube at least, liberaldanradio.com. I'll put a post up there. So if I happen to know that I need to start late, I will let you know that that's the case. So let's see, and the MEC site. Birthright citizenship. Yeah, there's no real list of this is what he signed. It is just, here's what he's announced to be doing. Is he? They're actually saying that an executive order that he's going to sign is going to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I will not. Just like I don't refer to Twitter as its new name, I will never refer to it as the Gulf of America unless I'm doing it as in a bad Donald Trump imitation way. So I guess some people are born leaders and some are born a potato. Guess we know what Trump was. Hey, don't frickin' insult potatoes. So anyway, we will see what goes on, I guess, later with this to go over the executive orders that he does and whatever else he does, and we'll cover that later on the show tonight, assuming it happens. And I'm assuming it's going to happen. So anyway, I guess we'll just call this an end to today's episode of Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left. That's right. Again, as if you're watching on Twitch, it is a hard out without any sort of outro music. On YouTube, there will be the outro music as well. So till later on today, have a good one and try and, find other things to do to enjoy yourself other than watching Donald Trump lying. See you at 8. Have a good one. Peace.